Welcome back. Airlines could end up paying huge bills to Canada's transport regulator to solve passenger complaints.
A new proposal would charge airlines $790 for each passenger complaint the regulator resolves, regardless of which party actually wins the dispute. The Canadian Transportation Agency estimates it will be able to close just over 22,000 air travel complaints per year. That's amounting to roughly $17.9 million in fees charged to airlines. The backlog of passenger complaints sits at a record high of about 78,000.
Yeah, so for a closer look at what this really means for you if you're traveling anytime soon, we're joined live tonight by Gabor Lukacs, president of Air Passenger Rights. Thanks for joining us, Gabor. It's good to see you again. What do you think this means for the average traveler?
Good afternoon. Unfortunately, this means too little, too late. On the one hand, this cost recovery fee is something that Parliament ordered the Canadian Transportation Agency to impose already last year in summer 2023. And the fact that we are now here in September 2024 and it is still not in place is a disgrace. It shows the government's contempt for Parliament and for the rule of law in Canada. When you talk about the amounts, these amounts are quite small and they are not being levied in a way that would actually create an incentive to avoid complaints, because the outcome and the fee are independent of each other. In my view, the recovery should be not only 60%, which is the current amount is based on, but the full 100% of the cost of resolving complaints where the passenger is found to have had some basis for a complaint. While in cases where it is found that the passenger was not owed even a cent, the airline should perhaps be paying a nominal fee for the processing of the case, but generally, the airline should not be facing the same level of financial consequence if it did everything under the law as required.
And now this applies to apparently valid customer complaints. So what does that actually mean? Like, what is a valid customer complaint?
It applies to eligible ones. It's not valid ones, and that's where the problem lies. So there's an initial filtering where there's things that are outside the Canadian Transportation Agency's jurisdiction and or scope or completely meritless on its face just by reading what the passenger wrote, and those are being filtered out. But still, there are cases where the passenger may not be owed any compensation, and there is no reason that the airline should be paying any kind of cost recovery fee if a passenger is making a meritless complaint but is found to be meritless at the end. At the same time, if the airline was unreasonably stonewalling the passenger, there is no reason why it should not be paying the full amount that resolving the complaint cost to taxpayers. Unfortunately, the root of the problem is that the Canadian Transportation Agency is not enforcing passengers' rights. There are no fines being issued for airlines that violate the law, and the backlog shows that this is more a kind of smoke and mirrors than a real government determination to enforce the law to resolve the situation at a systemic level.
Got about 40 seconds left here, Gabor, but do you think the message here for the average passenger then is to file a complaint? Do you think enough people actually do that, put it in writing?
We recommend passengers to avoid the Canadian Transportation Agency because of its backlog and because of its well-known history of lack of impartiality and its coziness with the airline industry. So we recommend passengers to go to small claims court. The government is trying to induce people to go to the Canadian Transportation Agency, where they have a secretive, untransparent process where some outcomes may happen, but ultimately the justice is not being done, nor it is being seen.
Okay. Gabor Lukacs, president of Air Passenger Rights. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gabor.
Thank you very
This
much
has
for
been
having me.
insightful.